Hello friends and fam, enlightened beings, Hardcore Yogi here. Just going for a walk around the property. It's a really nice sunny day. And yeah, the topic I wanted to speak about is, it's a distinction which I have come across, which I've sort of discovered for myself in a way, which is, you could say it's a trifecta of substance use, substance misuse, and substance abuse. So what are these three things? And there is a fourth thing, which you could just say is abstinence. So that's also an option for any substance. One could just have abstinence. But if not, if they use it to any degree, then they're in this trifecta, this trinity of use, misuse, and abuse. So what is use? Use, it could just be the most general, all-encompassing term, which just means you are using it to any degree. So it's just, baseline in covering all of them, all the rest. So yeah, that is use. But you could also perhaps include within use is like the effective use or the appropriate use of it. That whatever that substance is, you're using it in such a way, in such an amount, that it is in its proper place. It's in its proper place, and it is no detriment to your life. It's either neutral or maybe enhancing it. So that's what I would call substance use, or correct use. And then now substance misuse. You see, I would say misuse and abuse, they're pretty much just two parts along the same spectrum, and it's just an increase in intensity. But on the spectrum, so misuse, in its more subtle way, is just when you start to use the substance a bit too much, to the point where it is starting to detriment your life. So maybe you're using it a bit too much in the day, and it might start to slow you down, or have some side effects which you need to manage. Maybe you're using it a bit at the wrong time of day, so too early in the day it's limiting your functioning, or you end up using it too late at night and it ends up offsetting your sleep rhythms. I would count that as misuse. Yeah, it's kind of just creating some little leakage or some compromise in your health or your finances, your lifestyle, or your relationships. It's just the use of it is starting to make you decline a little bit, or at the very least, it is slowing some of your progress. So that's what I would describe as substance misuse. And then substance abuse is just on the extreme of that. So abuse, I would see as you're just using it so much. You're using it all day, every day. It's become extremely compulsive. Almost you have no self-regulation left. You have no sense of yourself, your independent self, soul, and discernment. Longer term thinking, planning, that all goes out the window. And you're just a fiend for the hit. So that's abuse. And it can all be on a spectrum between use, then some misuse, through up high levels of misuse towards abuse. So that's what I would see as the spectrum of it. Why do I bring in this spectrum or this trifecta? Why? The reason is because I just see that term abuse, drug abuse, it gets thrown around a lot in the common lexicon. I see it whether it's in government websites which try to offer information. They speak about drug and alcohol abuse. Even other sort of independent websites and NGOs, they might describe, drug abuse, substance abuse. So it's just a common term. I've seen it thrown around in various places in mainstream society. But I have seen the term misuse used sometimes, more occasionally, and I just think that's a good term. I think it's worth making the distinction because to just throw the word abuse around a lot, it just feels a bit overly strong to me. Because I think to myself, you know, I may misuse some substances on occasion. I've certainly had my challenges with that. I still do on and off in life, you know. It can be my vice to go towards some certain stuff. But it feels like it's an overkill to call it abuse. Okay, am I now abusing this drug just because I'm using it? Or maybe misusing it? Yeah, I felt that's too much of an overkill term. So I just feel that by bringing in this trifecta, use, misuse, abuse, it helps to bring more nuance and more refinement to anyone who wants to assess their usage, to who wants to try and, assess their usage. I think it's valuable. Because the value of that is, you know, anyone who's in this space who might struggle with substance use and struggle with addiction in their various ways, you don't want to like do an overkill of say, oh, now I am abusing this, you know, I have a massive problem and now I need to, I don't know, feel bad about it. I need to overhaul my life. I need to call in support. You know, abuse is such a strong word. It might create neuroticism with it. But then, yeah, misuse, it just helps you have a more mild assessment if that is actually the case. You know, you could just say, okay, I'm starting to misuse this thing now. I can see that. What's my plan to taper back off it? And the other value of these terms is acknowledging that use is not a bad thing. You know, to simply use a substance in the same way that you may use a hammer or a t-shirt. It is just a tool, a technology, which has a certain effect. It might have certain positive and negative effects depending how it's used. So yeah, any substance, any drug, it actually is a technology. You know, usually it's a man-made technology, or maybe it's an earth-made technology. But yeah, the main point there is it is okay and good to use certain tools and technologies. So to simply use it should not be demonized, depending on what it is. So yeah, that's what I wish to impart with you today. And you can just go away with that, utilize that. Substance use, misuse, and abuse. If you feel like having a chat, want to talk to someone about what you're going through with some of these problems, feel free to reach out to me. Just throw me a message. We can have a little chat, share a few things. And as I've shared with you guys before recently, I am doing more independent support work and coaching and counseling, largely around mental health. So yeah, helping young men and women with psychiatric illnesses or just mental health illnesses. I can help provide some NDIS funded support with coaching and counseling, even general support work, or I can also just do more privatized arrangements. We can just figure something out. Because yeah, I've certainly been in this journey, as I said, substance use, abuse, misuse, I've done all that. And I've gotten more skilled at educating myself, regulating myself. And I will still have periods of being good and bad with it, but I keep my life on track no matter what. And that's just a part of developing and growing as a person. So I'm really here to help anyone who is going through that, hey. Okay, so much peace and much love. Get after it, fam. Hardcore Yogi signing out.